Today at the Rocking W Smokehouse, we're going to cure and smoke this fresh pork ham. Come hang out with us and see how it's done. Hi, welcome to the Rocking W Smokehouse. I'm Mike Williams, and today we're going to prepare this pork ham, fresh pork ham for the smoker. To start with, we're going to take it out of the package and see what we got here. I had a friend ask us to smoke this for them, and they purchased it at a youth 4-H FFA event, and I want to shout out to them for supporting our youth. And set this over in the sink so it doesn't make a mess here. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim up the ham and get it like we want it, get some paper off of it and whatnot was in the packing. And then we're going to put it in a solution of kosher salt and Prague Powder #1, which is a curing salt. It's pink, and it permeates the meat and gives a ham that nice red color. Now, when you're using curing salt, you have to be careful because there is a proper way to do it. There's a right amount. Too much or too little can make people sick, and that's not what we want. So I actually use a calculator that is on a website called AmazingRibs.com. It's a great calculator. This is a 13.8 pound ham, and according to that calculator, with 2 gallons of water and based on the thickness of the ham, it took 28 grams of Prague Powder #1 and 345 grams of Morton kosher salt. Now, it does have a couple of bones in it. We're not going to worry with those today. Sometimes you can take those out if you want to, but I just want to get as much of this silver skin and fat off the bottom side. This has enough internal fat on it. I'm not going to take all the fat off the entire thing, but there is enough internal fat that will flavor the meat. And this external fat is really just a barrier to keep it from absorbing the salt that we're putting on it. So this is going to be a little bit of a process, but just bear with us. We've already got our brine mixed up. I will put the recipe for that for this particular ham, and I'll also put a link to AmazingRibs.com's calculator and for the amount of Prague powder to use on the piece of meat that you're wanting to cure. Curing it will give it that nice pink color that a store-bought ham has, whereas if we were just to smoke this as it is, it would be the color of a Boston butt when you cook it on the grill or smoke it. So Boston butt is off the front part of the hog, the shoulder. Even though it's called a butt, it comes on the front of the hog, and the hams are typically the upper portion of the rear leg, and they have a different color of meat, and the texture is completely different than the Boston butt. This has been thawing out, and it's got a little bit of a slime feel to it, as pork will have. That's been in a container, a plastic bag like that. So I'm gonna rinse it off, and then we'll be ready to put it in the brine. All right, so we washed off the ham, we've got it trimmed up. We've got our brine started, made, and what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put the ham in a ham net, and then we're going to inject it with brine, and then we're going to set the ham down in a bucket with the brine in it and let it sit in the refrigerator for at least 10 to 14 days. So let's get started with that. First of all, what we did is I boiled 2 quarts of water and added the salt and the Prague Powder #1 into the water, and then had to cool it back down. So it's cooled back down now, and we're going to make a total of 2 gallons. So we've got 2 quarts there. We're pouring into our bucket, and then I want to put about a half a gallon back in there to make sure I got, and I'm using my additional water, I'm using distilled water so that I don't have to boil it, because when you're using the curing solution, you're setting it in a bucket of water for 10 days to 2 weeks. You want clean water, even though it, particularly if you're doing it for somebody else, right? If you make your own family sick, that's one thing. You make somebody else's family sick, that's a whole nother topic. It's a good way not to have a friend anymore. So we're going to mix this up. We're right at the 2 gallon mark, so that's good. And we have a ham net that we got and have washed, and it is ready to go on the ham. And this will just help it to stay together. I don't think there'll be any problem with it coming apart, but it'll also give that nice checkerboard pattern when we're done as well. And now what we want to do is get a couple of cups of the solution, brining solution, and we're going to take our injector and inject in there. What this does is get it down into the meat quicker and allows you to keep it in the solution in the bucket for less time. do it. Now we'll see if we can get this in there without making a splash. Okay, very good. It's down in there. Now I will take and put a plastic bag full of water in there on top of it to make sure it stays submerged. Put a lid on it, put it in the refrigerator. It'll stay in there for 10 to 14 days, or possibly a little longer. We'll keep an eye on it and see how it looks, and then we'll be ready to season it and smoke it. Alrighty, see you in a bit. So it's been 12 days, and today's the 12th day that our ham has been sitting in the brine. It's been in the refrigerator with a brine mix solution that we put together and soaking up that brine to cure the ham. Today we're going to take it out and we're going to look at it, and then we're going to wash it off, soak for just a little bit in some clear fresh water in order to get some of the surface salt off so it's not too salty, and then let it air dry a little while. So let's look at our ham and see what we've got. We've got a water bag here that we had to help hold the ham down in the solution. And see if I can get a hold of it here. Yeah. Okay. So it's looking good. See, it's not quite as pink as it was. It's a little more grayer cast to it than sitting in that solution. So it does have a pretty salty coating on it. We're going to get some of that off, and then we'll get the smoker ready and get a fire going and get smoking. So we're going to get our fire started. And what I use to start my fires is some scrap wood off. I split my own wood for my smoker, and I just use some of the bark and tiny splits for kindling to get the fire started. This time I'm using a little fire starter, tumbleweed fire starter. I also have a propane weed torch that I use if I really want to get it going in a hurry. But today we're using one of the tumbleweeds. They do a good job to get the fire going quickly. So we've got the grill up to temp. We're going to run the grill, the smoker here for a few hours between 225 to 250. We want to get a lot of smoke on this ham. It's been sitting out on the counter, drying, air drying for about an hour, hour and a half. You could actually put this in the refrigerator uncovered overnight to really get a dry, what they call a speckle on it, so that it really absorbs a lot of heat. That salt kind of creates a little color. But what we're going to do today is we're going to put a little seasoning on it. What I've chosen is Dano's original. It gives a good garlicky, herbal flavor, and it is low in salt, so we don't have to worry about getting too much salt on the ham. And so we're going to go ahead and apply this pretty liberally. We'll start on the bottom. And I want to get a fairly even coating here. You could put a binder on here if you wanted to, but it'll hold enough of it just being a little damp, and the natural oils out of the pork. You want to make sure you cover all sides. A little windy out here today, so it's wanting to scatter on me a little bit. That's to be expected when you're cooking outside. So I'm gonna pat that in a little bit. Try to get up some of that we had overshot onto the meat, and let that sit for just a minute. Today we are smoking with hickory wood. Normally I use a lot of pecan. I'm running low on pecan, got a lot of hickory. This is a big piece of meat and it can take the stronger smoke, so we're going with hickory today. And we're also going to put a probe in here from my fireboard so I can continuously monitor the meat temp, and we get it to the temp that we want it, and we'll place that on the smoker and maintain that temp between 225 and 250 for a couple hours, and then we'll adjust it from there. We're smoking today on a Lang 84 Deluxe reverse flow offset smoker. It does a great job of delivering heat, smoke, has radiant heat, convection heat, and really does a good job. All right, we're at 4 hours in on this cook with the ham, and as you see, we're running our temp between 275 and 300 now. It's about time to put some wood on there. We'll do that in a second. We'll take a quick glance at the ham to see how it looks. Nice golden color. Taking on that smoke really well. So we're at a 6.5 hour mark now. Our temperature is staying in that 275 to 300 range. Let's take a peek at the ham and see how it looks. Yes, it's really taking on that smoke and cooking up nicely. It's going to be some good ham right there. Let's look at our internal temp, see how far away we are. And we're at almost 148, so about 10 more degrees, and this cook will be done. Alrighty, so our ham is temping right at 157. We'll have some carryover cook for a little bit to carry it on up to 160. It's looking pretty nice, and we're going to take it off the smoker and set it on the counter and let it rest for a bit, and then we'll see if we can slice off a piece. I won't be able to cut it open because I'm doing this for someone else, but we'll at least get a Pitmaster privilege sample anyway. So we have our ham off the grill, it's been off the smoker. It's been resting now for a little over an hour, and it really smells good. Let's take a look at it and see what it looks like. Like I said, I'm doing this for someone else, so I'm not going to be able just to cut it open, but we will take a little Pitmaster privilege and sample us some and see how it turned out. Not quite as pink as I anticipated that it would be from the soaking, but certainly it will be pretty edible, I think. Very good. Smoky, pretty salty, very good piece of ham. I think they'll be pleased with it. And now this was a 14-pound ham that we did. You may not want to have that large a ham, may not have a need for that large a ham. And if you'd like to see it in an upcoming video, let me know. But there are other cuts of meat that you can make a ham out of. that would be more manageable, and you can cure it right at home and then smoke it yourself, and it'll be really top notch. So let me know in the comments, or if there's something else you'd like to see us on the Rocking W Smokehouse, let me know. For now, that's the end of this episode. Tune in again and hang out with us at Rocking W Smokehouse. I'm Mike Williams.